Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this WWE action figure video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at jobbers. Now, that's not really a term that I like. Enhancement talent, I think, sounds much nicer. And basically, these are superstars that lose matches. Not just one or two matches, but pretty much all of their matches. That's their job. They put over other superstars. There's been some really famous names that have been jobbers or are still jobbers. And so we're going to take a look at some of their figures. This is a very different video and one that I'm very excited to bring to you. Let's start, shall we, with this. James Ellsworth. James Ellsworth was brought in as an enhancement talent, losing a match to Braun Strowman. He's got such a distinctive look, though, that people wanted him to come back. So WWE brought him back. He was then involved in a feud with AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose. He was then obviously hanging around with Carmella. And amazingly, he only lost 44% of his matches. I think it's because he kept getting like fluke victories, or he kept cheating and finding ways to get a result. But still, he was brought in as enhancement talent. Next up, we've got Johnny Rodz. This is a Jakks Classic Superstar figure, and he lost 71% of his matches. He was active between 1965 and 1985, and he lost an incredible 1,229 matches. He's still got WWE Championship opportunities, though. He had a match against Bob Backlund in 1980 and Hulk Hogan in 1985, but sadly, he would lose those as well. Next up, we've got Dana Brooke. This is Basic Series 81 that you can see on screen. I think that's a great figure, by the way. She has lost 73% of her matches. Clearly, she is being used as an enhancement talent on the main roster, but it does look like they're starting to give her more opportunities now. She will be involved in this year's Money in the Bank match. Fun fact, Dana Brooke actually lost her NXT debut match, her first match. It was on a house show. She partnered Bayley, and their opponents were Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss. I don't know what I like more about this fact. The fact that Dana Brooke lost her debut match, or the fact that Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks once teamed together. They absolutely hate each other. Apparently, they've got to be kept in separate rooms backstage and everything. So, kind of crazy that they were tagging together at one point. Next, we got SD Jones. This is an LJN figure. I think he had a couple, actually. He lost 75% of his matches. He was active between the mid-70s and the early 90s. He was trained by fellow jobber Johnny Rodz. Johnny Rodz that we just took a look at. And SD Jones lost 1,136 matches. He was a fighting babyface who made life difficult for the heels, but sadly would always lose. He also had a WrestleMania match, so he did get to the WrestleMania stage, but sadly he lost to King Kong Bundy in 9 seconds. Next up, we've got Heath Slater. This is Basic 51 you can see on screen. He has lost 77% of his matches. Yes, he was in the Nexus and he was in the Core. And yes, he won the SmackDown Tag Titles, but pretty much everything else involved him losing. He's lost 673 matches because he's been in teams like 3MB and the Social Outcasts. Still a very popular superstar, though. Next up, we've got David Otunga, Basic Series 25. He's lost 77.9% of his matches. He is also another former Nexus member who really lost his way once that group split up. He is a two-time tag team champion, which is amazing, considering he lost 170 matches out of around about 210. So, yeah, he picked up a lot of defeats. Next, we've got Tamina. You can see Basic Series 59 on screen. She's lost 79.6% of her matches. Made her debut in 2009. She's gone on to lose over 300 matches, which shows really how infrequently she actually competes. But sadly, when she does, she tends to lose. Next up, the Ascension. You can see Elite Series 47B. They have lost, get ready for this, 87% of their matches. They were dominant in NXT, winning around about 70% of their matches. Then as soon as they joined the main roster, everything just went wrong. It's really hard to see these guys being anything other than enhancement talent now going forward, which is a real shame because they are super talented. Next up, of course, we've got to talk about Curt Hawkins. You can see Elite Series 64 on screen. He has lost 87% of his matches as well. He was on a 269 match losing streak. Even his merchandise showed tally marks of all of his defeats. And he was spoken to, given words of encouragement to by our top jobber on this list. Of course, we're going to get to him in a bit. But he gave him words of encouragement at Raw 25, the 25th anniversary of Raw. Like, that's how bad things got for Curt Hawkins. Of course, he would have the last laugh. He is the current Raw Tag Team Champion alongside Zack Ryder. So, again, someone that is very popular. Next, we've got Rosa Mendes, Basic 31. She lost an incredible 90% of her matches. She has only ever won 10 matches. That's it. And she's lost 111. She was basically brought in for her looks. But the big talking point for me here is that awful figure. It was so bad. They messed it up. They actually issued an apology with the figure. We have spoke about it. It is in our worst Mattel figures video. I will put a link on screen. Check that out if you've not seen it already. I got an honourable mention though. This is Al Snow, Classic Superstars. Now, Al Snow doesn't have the worst win-loss record, which is why he doesn't feature in this list properly. But he was part of the Job Squad, the JOB Squad. This was a group of enhancement talent that got together as the Job Squad. So you had Al Snow, Bob Holly, Scorpio, Gilbert, Blue Meanie. I just really like the fact there was a faction based on jobbers. And this figure, I had to show it you because he's got his Job Squad top on as well. So just a fun little figure there. But that brings us to number one. This was the man that gave those words of encouragement to Curt Hawkins. Because obviously things were going wrong for Curt Hawkins. Things went wrong for this guy as well, losing an incredible 93% of his WWF matches. The Brooklyn Brawler. You can see the Classic Superstars figure on screen. He was active between the late 80s and like the mid 90s, and he lost 1,339 matches. He also had bad gimmicks. I think he was like Evil Doink. He was Kamala's handler. And then also he was Abe Knuckleball Schwartz. You can see the figure for Abe on screen as well. And Abe would lose matches all the time also. Yeah, he's just like the king of the jobbers. Super popular though. And he even won a battle royal. I think it was like in the mid-90s. That gave him a title opportunity. He had a match against Shawn Michaels, which of course he would lose. But still very cool that he did actually get a shot at the title. Awesome, guys. So that is my list of jobbers / enhancement talent that have had figures made from Jakks and Mattel. Let me know if I've missed anyone. There's a lot of names that might surprise you. I did a lot of research into this, and there's a lot of superstars that have lost like 60, 65, 70% of their matches, but there's very few that have lost 80 or 90% of their matches. So feel free to drop some names in the comments below. Awesome, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully, I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.